pipeline. That plan has the president threatening a veto, though, and the Senate promising to defeat it.
The bill just passed by House Republicans tonight is a pointless partisan exercise. The bill is dead on arrival. It was dead before it got to the Senate. The Senate will not pass it.
Lawmakers are expected to adjourn soon for the year. Failure to extend payroll tax cuts, Pat, will mean a tax hike for American families.
Well, the president said, give me an extension of the payroll tax cut. And so the House has said, all right, Mr. President, here's
you are so pretty.
We want to do it, and while we're also
pretty bird,
we'd like to expedite a project that will put about 22,000 steel workers and other union people to work. And
you are a pretty bird.
Cave to the environmental lobby. That's what we're dealing with in Washington. This pipeline is a no-brainer. It doesn't cost the United States anything. And yet it's going to put people to work. It's going to be a creator of business and jobs.
You're so pretty.
Business and jobs. He wants to cater to the special interests that he considers are important. So the environmentalists, now what did that TransCanada do? They said, well, we know this thing is going to skirt the Ogallala aquifer, and we think a leak there could be very devastating. So we're going to reroute the pipeline, take it a little bit east and then south, and we will...
hey, be nice, play nice.
It takes away the environmental concerns, but they still don't want it. They don't want anything that's not green. If we'd have 1,000 windmills out there in Nebraska, they'd applaud it for that one. That's the gridlock you're facing, ladies and gentlemen. Something that's got to be done, or America, 1 year from now, is going to be in a serious crisis internationally and financially. Lee?
National Transportation Safety Board is calling on all 50 states to ban drivers from using cell phones, including hands-free devices. The board cited the case of a deadly highway pileup in Missouri last year. Investigators believe it was caused by a 19-year-old driver who sent or received 11 text messages in the few minutes before that accident. A 15-year-old student on a school bus was killed. 38 others were injured. The board does not have the power to impose the regulations. That's up to individual states. A U.S. government body that monitors religious liberty worldwide is in danger of shutting down. Congress created the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom in 1998. It tracks religious rights issues around the world and advises the U.S. State Department. USERF, as it's called, only has a $4 million budget, but this year its reauthorization is being held up in the Senate. The commission's chairman told CBN News...
Pretty bird.
Without USERF, I fear that freedom of religion won't have that same kind of attention, and I think if we're extinguished, it will send a terrible, terrible signal to human rights abusing countries around the world that we don't care as much about freedom of religion as we used to.
The commission will expire Friday, and Leonard Leo says Americans should contact the White House as well as the Senate immediately to show their support for reauthorization. More gridlock that you were talking about, Pat.
This is shocking, Lee. It's just shocking. We're talking about a few $1 million. It's a rounding error in that huge budget we've got. It's nothing. But yet, why? Partisanship? Or are they just inactive? I mean, what's wrong with those senators? I mean, they get paid to work. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything except the House of Representatives has passed how many? 40, 50 bills, 60 bills, I don't know the exact number, but it's many of them. They pass them and send them out to the Senate where they die. And yet the president's going to come and campaign against them to do nothing in Congress. The Republican House is willing to do something, and they're willing to sit down and negotiate with those on the other side who are willing to be serious.
You are so pretty.
Serious. Nobody's serious. It's all...
You're sexy. Sexy bird.
Put the good of America first. That's what counts. What about the good of all of us? Not your special interest groups, but everybody. That's what you're there to do. Take
You
care
sexy
of the
bird.
needs of this nation. Lee?
Muslim groups
You jealous? You jealous? You're sexy too. You sexy bird.
Muslim Brotherhood and Salafi Muslims dominated in recent elections in Egypt. Now the media and the public there want them to define their stance on a wide range of issues, including tourism. Some Islamists want tourists to exercise so-called sin-free vacations that do not permit alcohol, bikinis, or mixed bathing at beaches.
You lovebird. You lovebird. You are such a lovebird. Hello. Hello.
The new reality show chronicles the lives of 5 living in Michigan.
Uh-oh, the whole gang's coming. Hello. Hello.
After the Florida
Hello.
against the show. Muslims like
that people would not
You're so pretty.
from the Florida family Islamic agenda. That is harmful education, structure, and
You're so pretty. Let's try to get it straight on. Look at this. Let's see. Oh, you don't want to do it.
advertising to avoid being caught up in what they saw as a controversial issue. Ephraim Brake, CBN News.
After being hacked, the Florida Family Association had to shut down its website. Now, if you have an opinion on Lowe's decision, visit cbnnews.com or our Facebook and Twitter pages to let us know what you think. Atheist groups are working to drive Christ out of Christmas in one California town. For years, churches in Santa Monica have set up a nativity scene in a park. In the past, they've used 14 out of the park's 21 spaces for the scene. But this year, the city started a new lottery system in order to distribute those spaces. Atheist groups won 18 spots, but choose to decorate only 3. 15
You are one pretty bird, I'll tell you. You're so pretty.
Santa Claus and Satan. And this is what it reads. 37 million Americans don't miss when they see them.
Ah, you're so pretty. Woo, 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 woo. Pretty bird.
And the synagogue were able to claim the other 3 spots. Pat?
Well, best test of truth is in the marketplace. I don't mind going to the marketplace, but here, again, that's not freedom of speech.
You are sexy. One sexy bird. Yeah, you're so pretty. Can I pet you? Can I pet you?
They can't use it. They got nothing to say. What do atheists have to say? They have nothing to say. They have no message. So we have a glorious message.
Hello.
Which has thrilled the hearts of literally billions of people around the world. And we're going to shut that down because the atheists hate the message of truth.
No, the atheists don't hate the message of truth, you freaking idiot. What is the truth? Jesus. Will you tell me what is the truth? Maybe you know. What's the truth?
A 15-year-old with a little bit of understanding and a few tools from,
the truth. What does that really mean?
Can figure it out pretty quick.
So here's what's being done to protect America from cyber attacks. And later, it's
the truth means reality. Well, I don't know. This is truth right here.
Join us in our ticket. I'm so giddy on today's 700 Club.
I guess truth is trust, right? Do I trust you though? Do I trust you? Oh, you're so pretty. Pretty bird.
Buying up gold at record rates. Why?
You're so pretty. You're so sexy too.
The secret of all gold also pretty. Just call 1-800-806-GOLD. That's 1-800-806-GOLD. This could be the most important call you make this year. Investing in America.
Pretty bird. Pretty bird.
If you've got them, when they came in the office space, they smell like smoke. Here, they were doing it 8, 9, 10 times a day.
Hear how some businesses are trying to
Hello.
stop smokers. Plus,
Hello.
From hero to zero.
Hello.
this kickboxing champ out.
Hello.
And find out what got him back in the ring.
Hello.
On the 700 Club.
Hello.
Good instructors. Was essentially the premise was when we were in a agrarian society, everybody had their own little farm and there were a few little community stores and a certain amount of trade, but we weren't so dependent on the infrastructure, distant power plants, or any of that. Well, now it's a different story. America is totally and dependent on a grid. And believe it or not, the critical infrastructure that keeps this country running is surprisingly vulnerable. Not only to physical attacks, but what are called cyber attacks. Small Strand brings us this chilly message about what cyber attacks that our mind could mean.
These days, much of what keeps America powered up and functioning is controlled by complex computer systems called by their acronym SCADA.
Everything is now controlled by supervisory control and data acquisition systems. Systems are systems. The electrical grid is a SCADA system.
You are pretty bird.
System, the air traffic
Pretty
control
bird.
system has a SCADA system.
Pretty bird.
Electrical plants, gas pipelines, dams, railroad switches.
All your metropolitan transportation networks are run on a SCADA system.
Tony Schaefer at the Center for Advanced Defense Studies also points out some $9 trillion a day runs through America's financial world, dependent on these SCADA systems.
If you have literally the lifeblood of the economy plus the brain synapses which control your networks on this internet, you may want to think about how you protect that.
The problem is, it turns out
You're a pretty bird, I tell you.
by civilians.
You really are.
They're doing little to protect
One pretty bird.
There's a real weak link in America's defenses.
I guess you know it.
In the defense community that people just aren't taking this seriously.
Accidents and snafus have shown if a part of the grid is knocked out, much of the rest of it goes down too. So hackers working from far away may be able to launch small cyber attacks that lead to major disaster.
Well, a lot of people talk about a digital Pearl Harbor, which is where you go in and you have a cascading series systems of failures. You take down the electrical grid and everything starts to cascade from that, and essentially...
I love African Grace. You're so pretty.
Where a foreign power
Pretty bird.
wants to conquer America, but doesn't want to destroy its riches and resources.
You don't want to launch a nuclear bomb on a location if you can actually defeat it, functionally defeat it, by taking out the power grid, the control measures, or anything else.
Schaefer says the Chinese have complex plans to do just this. The Russians, too.
They have a term called infrastructure warfare, where they look at a foreign country's infrastructure. The Chinese as well. The Chinese have been very good at developing doctrine based on ours.
Yes, America has been testing and readying its own plans for cyber warfare, using a concept called functional defeat.
There's been tests we've done, and I can't get into it because they're classified, but if you can get into that foreign-powered infrastructure, and if you basically turn a generator, a power generator, on and off rapidly, you're going to destroy it. And so the idea is if you can actually get inside of his web, you can do this.
But James Carafano, a top national security analyst at the Heritage Foundation, doubts a major power would be foolhardy enough to start up a cyber war.
For the Chinese or the Russians or something, say, well, let's take down the American internet. Okay, fine. So then Walmart can't order any goods from China anymore. Well, then you're kind of out of business. So there is this kind of mutual self-assured, assured destruction there.
Also, in this brave new cyber world, no one can be sure of nasty, unintended consequences. For example, Stuxnet, the first cyber attack that did real damage in the real physical world.
Stuxnet, we now know, was a malicious software that somebody did, which was specifically designed to penetrate Iranian nuclear production materials facilities. Well, that thing went global. It actually got all over the world. And I don't think people that designed that expected that.
But hackers do keep launching probing cyber attacks on data systems, worrying America's defenders. The FBI revealed there were 3 small attacks on 3 cities in recent days. FBI official Michael Welch said of Essentially, it was an ego trip for the hacker because he had control of that city's system, and he could dump raw sewage into the lake. He could shut down the fire plant at the mall. A wide array of things. One hacker blogged about easily breaking into a South Houston system in November, writing, "This required almost no skill and could be reproduced by a 2-year-old. Schaefer agrees hacking SCADA is way too easy.
Like you're trying to break into the SAC targeting computers for bombers. A 15-year-old with a good understanding and a few tools from Anonymous or any other company you want to think of, figure it out pretty quick.
Imagine how easy it would be for a superpower to launch devastating cyber attacks, especially when America